Hey, my dear friends. I'm Shannon from Shannon Studio, and we are here to talk creativity. We have a creative life. We're going to talk about what that looks like, how to have it, room for it, what stops us from doing it. So that's what we talk about. And then today on Sundays, I tie a little bit of spirituality into a little bit of creativity. So we kind of see how those two might work together. And to be honest, I had like a little bit of a hard time with the topic I chose and not finding it in any of my creativity books, which kind of made me think, do you need this at all for creativity? And I was like, yeah, I think so. So you can help me like kind of, filter through this to be able to figure it out. It's the love month, so we're talking about relationships and those kinds of things. So the thing I wanted to talk about was our hearts knit together in unity. So building unity and harmony. And there is a scripture, Mosiah 18:21, that says, "And he, Alma, commanded them, his people, that there should be no contention one with another, but that they should look forward, their hearts knit together in unity and in love towards one another." Hey, Tricia. So the idea is that, you get this visual right off of hearts being knit together. And I've talked about this before with groups of people, and I would actually take something that was knitted and I would pull a thread. And just the idea of pulling a thread, it can be one thing that just kind of nags at the group, and it just pulls and pulls until it unravels the whole thing. And then you have no usefulness to what was happening because you've let something pull the threads that were knit together and destroy the fabric. So the idea of being knit together, whoa, that was kind of shaky, wasn't it? Is to join closely, unite securely, and to become joined or mended together. So it's something that we need to do to mend ourselves together, and not, hey, Allison, hey, friend, to you too. So glad to see you. So being knit together, and I think what when you have close friends like I do, and you are kind of all on the same page and you're working in unison, it's a great thing. When you have that in a family, you have that unity, you are moving in the same direction, and you know what that feels like. You also know what it feels like to have things fall apart and not be that way. And it kind of goes with, if you have anything you want to build with any significance, you're not likely going to do it by yourself, number one. You're going to likely need other people. So when you're working with other people and you want to build something, and let's say it's something creative, you're going to have to all get on the same page. You're going to have to find the common ground of what you're doing and the purpose behind it. And I think when we find that purpose and when we find that unity, we can do a lot of things. We can do huge things and exciting things, and we can there's all kinds of things, but it starts with being unified. And so how do you unify people who are so different? And I think there's a distinction you have to make. Just because you're unified with somebody in one purpose or one goal or several goals doesn't mean you agree with that person 100%. There is nobody on this planet that you or I agree with 100%, no matter what. So we've managed to figure out how to get along and how to work with other people we don't agree with because we like them, because we have other commonalities that we choose to focus on. Brigham Young said, "We have come to build Zion. How shall we do it? I've told you a great many times. There is one thing I will say in regard to it. We have got to be united in our efforts. We should go to work with a united faith like the heart of one," and I put woman, they said man, but I said woman, one woman, "and whatever we do should be performed in the name of the Lord, and we will then be blessed and prospered in all we do." And it's interesting to me that in the scriptures, being unified is all over the place. all over the place. He says to be unified with him. In John 7, let me just get that, shaking again. He says in John 17:22, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. So we're talking about united purposes, the common ground, united purposes in what we do. God talks about unity all the time. The world talks about, let's emphasize our differences. And I think that's one of the reasons I couldn't find that much about unity in the books. In books I was, because in Kindle you can just go through and do a search. I went through 20 books and there was very little on unity. It just made me think, because God's ways are not man's ways, they're different. God tells us to be unified. Basically tells us to overlook the things that aren't the same and to come together. He's saying, you can be and be one. You're definitely on the right page. And then love one another. Do those things to find your commonalities. And some ways that I think that you can find and be agreed is that becoming one heart. So feeling the same way about something. So if you're working on a group with a group of people and you have a project, or if you're working on with other people for someone else, it's your one heart about that person. So you don't have to go across the board. Do we agree on this? Do we agree on this? Do we agree on this? No, just agree on the task at hand, the purpose at hand. No contention. That's the big one. If you want to be agreed, you cannot be fighting all the time. It just does not work. You can't nitpick, you can't fight, you can't murmur, you can't backstab. Those are the things that are within your control to not do. And when we want to be united with someone, that's where we have to stop ourselves. We have to stop ourselves and say, okay, this is the common purpose. So look forward where you're going, what you hope to accomplish, what the end goal is. Another is to love one another. Sometimes hard. I'm thinking of a few people and it's like you struggle, but again, it's to find the threads in them that are good, because nobody's all bad. I mean, most people I know, there's not like this. Even people who do bad things, people will say, that person's really good. I really liked them. They were really nice to me. And it's so interesting, because if you think about it, most people are not like all evil, all bad. So find the good in the people. Find the good. It says, behold, in Psalms 13, I don't know, 133. Psalms 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren and sisters to dwell together in unity. We're going to have greater things happen in our lives when we can find the common ground and when we can unify with people. And even I find it that people have time being unified and they go to the same church, they're in the same group, and it's like, we need to work on this. Obviously it's hard, but we can do it, and we can take those kinds of steps. So if you think of other ways in order that we can be unified, put them, hi Sean Marie, put them in the comments. Because obviously when I was going through, I was really troubled that I could not find a lot of things about unity. And if you're going to collaborate in a creative way, it requires unity. It does. You have to be on the same page. So I think, I don't know what was missing. What's another thing that will really help us to find that commonality is empathy. And here's a quote from, I didn't write down the book. How lovely. I'll find where it comes from. But it says, empathy, popularly described as standing in another's shoes. At best, empathy is also highly creative, both as product and process, being both original and meaningful. Empathy involves a deep dance in the moment, one of life and caring and honoring uniqueness while bridging unity. And I really like that last part. Honoring uniqueness while bridging unity. Can we do that? I think so. Ooh, somebody had an angry face. Um, so I think there's ways, but I think this really kind of threw me a little bit today when I was researching it. That there's not a lot out there to talk about unity. Everybody wants to say how different they are. Everybody wants to say, you don't understand me. And I think if we reach out and try to understand people a little bit more and show how to be unified, that that's going to serve us well. So that is the thought today, to knit yourself together in love and unity, and to remember you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And I will be back tomorrow. Bye.